What is the easiest, cheapest way to accept donations through social media? Hi, we are Net Squared of Northern Michigan. Dendra is online. She couldn't be here today, but she is. See that? And that's social media. And this is Eric Carey, and he's our social media surgeon, and he's at work determining whether or not Dendra can answer this question that was posed by TechSoup. And so we are going to respond. Dendra?
Okay, well, anytime you're going to solicit a donation online, the question is, are you doing it for the public good, or are you doing it for a private benefit? Let's suppose you have a child who's seriously ill and you need to raise money for medical expenses. One of the things that people really need to be careful about when they're considering making a donation, in the first place, is making sure that it's genuine. Usually, if you're collecting money for a specific social purpose, you can set up an account at a local bank, and that gives you some measure of authenticity. There is a threshold, particularly in the state of Michigan, as far as soliciting charitable donations. So really the first thing to be sure is, are you in compliance with the law? Otherwise you could of course be accused of fraud, which is not something that you want to do anyway. If you're going to use social media to do this, be aware that many states have their own charitable solicitation laws and guidelines. And I know for a lot of nonprofits, this can be a real headache because you have to file that paperwork in each and every state to be in compliance with it. So a number of really good reputable entities have set themselves up, and they are registered in each and every state. And they act as the go-between for your fundraising. And obviously in this day of social media, the most immediate way to get in touch with somebody is through Twitter and Facebook, and to post your donations. And the easiest way to stay in compliance of the law is to use one of those reputable funding intermediaries. We use actually 3 different ones for the organization I work at. PayPal is, I know all of these have their detractors, and some people don't like PayPal, but for the most part, it is a secure way of making a donation. And it also gives both the receiver and the sender a receipt. Tax laws have changed as to whether you can deduct those charitable donations on your income tax return, but it's a good idea to have a receipt, both as the person who's making the donation and as the person who's receiving it. PayPal's fees are fairly, they're not too bad, even if you're not a registered 501c3. A registered that's a tax-exempt IRS status. If you are a registered tax-exempt organization, their fees are very reasonable. And all of the credit card companies, which for the most part is how people will make those payments, except PayPal does allow you to do a direct debit from your bank account as well. All of those, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, have transaction fees. And those can add up considerably if you're going to start a donation campaign. Try doing it yourself. There's an organization called Network for Good, and they offer donation services. Those are a little bit more expensive, but again, they offer a software type approach where you'll be able to track and thank your donors. There is another organization that's affiliated with GuideStar, which is one of the 501c3 verification entities, where they encourage you to post all of your organization items as an emphasis on transparency. So you know if you're giving a donation to, let's say, Eric's Fund for Supplying New iPhones to Worthy People Who Can't Afford them.org. That Eric really is a genuine person, and yes, he really is a genuine tax-exempt organization, and he's filed his 990s, and he has his donation information up there for everyone to see. JustGive.org, their fees are a little bit more than PayPal's, but again, it's a good idea to use those Google Analytics and see where your donors are coming from. And if you see more of them coming from PayPal, then by all means use PayPal. The thing to notice with PayPal is if you're anticipating international donations, there is a transaction fee added on if you are outside of the United States. And then there's Google Wallet. If you're a Google for Nonprofits partner like we are, you can monetize your YouTube accounts and encourage people to make a donation. And you just add a little donate here button right onto your Google transactions, and people pay using their Google Wallet. But again, there's a fee. What the entity receives is not necessarily what you gave, because there will be an amount taken out the transaction fees. And ease and safety, that's the trade-off here. Is anytime you're going to do fundraising using social media, it's how do you convey to the people who are out there that you're genuine, that you have a real charitable purpose. And again, the question I would say is the more reputable you appear and the more targeted your donations are, the more successful you're going to be. Give to me, I'm a worthy cause. Give to me, I have wonderful things, is one thing. But every $5 you give to me buys a bag of dog food for an animal that's been abandoned at the shelter, with a picture of the animal at the shelter. People give to things, they don't give to amorphous ideas. So, short answer, kind of long, but that's my 2 cents worth of how the cheapest and most effective way to do donations using social media is.
To recap, it's PayPal, Network for Good, GuideStar, and Google Wallet.
Well, it's justgive.org is the giving arm, the donation arm of GuideStar. Justgive.org. So that's just 4. There are a number of them out there. You can do crowdfunding and crowd rising, and what's the other one I was thinking of? A number of join me. I'll raise 10 if you raise 10. I will agree to donate $20 that I've raised from other people if they raise $20. So it's building momentum. That's the key. Eric, what's your 2 cents worth?
I'm not exactly certain about the fee structures, but I do see a lot of campaigns on things like Indiegogo or different things like that, almost copies of Kickstarter, but taking the crowdfunding idea and working with that. I'm sure there are ones that are targeted towards nonprofits, and that's something I would look into.
Yeah. And the biggest advice I would give is check with whoever governs charitable solicitations in your state. In Michigan, it's the Corporations Division of Attorney General's Office, and also what was Secretary of State, which is now Lara and DLEG. And just pull up on their search, starting a nonprofit in Michigan. And actually, I think I have that document, Michelle. We should post that to our website. It's a good step-by-step guide of how to stay on the right side of the law if you're going to be raising money.
Yes, but we're still recording. I guess you could send me that link and I'll put it in the description.
I will do that.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for being at our social media surgery here in northern Michigan at Network Traverse City. Net Squared of Northern Michigan here in Traverse City, Michigan. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that's funny.